Okay, fellas. Give me a sec to get this administrative crap out of the way. Y'all know how it goes. Let's see. Just make sure we're officially live. And if everyone can hear me, we talking about Ubereats boosts if they are disappearing. And this Ubereats Pro. Ubereats boosts if they are disappearing. And looks like we're good. Can everyone hear me pretty good? Say to God, has it been slow? Um, I can only speak for my market, but it's been a little slower than normal. But you got to realize we are also going into the summer, and the summer is actually a slower period for Uber Eats. Not as slow as the beginning of the year, but it's just school is out, so people they're gonna be not taking Ubers as much. So you got the UberX people who are doing Uber Eats to kind of make up that difference, and you got a bunch of college students that they hop on these apps to try and make some money without getting a job while they're off school. So those factors combined, yeah, it's just a little slower. Plus, the summer is hot, so people feel a little more activity to actually go out and get the food versus like in the winter. People want to stay indoors because it's cold, so it does get a little naturally slow during this time of year, during the summer, so it's nothing abnormal. Omar, how's it going, Elijah? I'm doing fantastic. Appreciate you asking. Force 820, yes, on an hour and only made $7.43. Uh, I will say this is the slow hour. Like if you've been, well, never mind. I keep forgetting. Different market. I know what you mean. Neo oversaturated with drivers and people going out, like you said. Omar, good to hear. Yeah, but let me welcome y'all to the. I guess we're not officially doing monthly Q&As anymore because I've been kind of doing them more frequently. But welcome to the Q&A produced by the App Lifestyle. What's new? As y'all see, what I'm wearing. The App Lifestyle T-shirts is officially out, so if you want to look fly while you're delivering, hey, feel free to pick one up. And I'll also be doing a video on how it can also make you some more money because it's not just solely just looking cool out there. You can actually make money off of this. But I'll save that for another video. We can actually get started right now because we got a decent amount of people in here. I normally wait to the 5-minute mark, but we should be good. But let's talk about the people have been talking about this for a while. I hear on Uber Eats Facebook groups and even in the comments, y'all have been saying that Uber Eats promotions have been steadily disappearing. Cesspool, what's up, Elijah? What's good? We are currently talking about Uber Eats promotions. Are they going away? Have you seen them kind of being lowered? How do y'all feel about Uber Eats promotions? Do y'all feel like they're going away? Have they been disappearing? I'm seeing, by the way, in the Facebook group. Oh, it's hey, welcome, Scene. Have you been in a Q&A before? I'm not sure you have, but you've been putting out some good energy in the Facebook group. I appreciate that. And speaking of the Facebook group, if y'all are Uber Eats drivers and y'all aren't part of the Facebook group, it's how to be Uber Eats pros. That, let me rephrase that: how to be Uber Eats experts. I can't say Uber Eats pro now that Uber has something officially with that title, but I'll link that in the description. Let me get the link for that. Give me one sec. Neo, multi-app, if you are going to do this full-time or part-time, I am trying to transition into working from home full-time. Neo, that's always going to be your call. I don't recommend multi-apping because if you're already working on something on the side, instead of trying to figure out how to operate a new app, I would recommend you just put more energy into what you're working on the side so you can see faster results. Let's see. Here's that Facebook link. Okay. Umar, have not seen any promotions in my area in a very long time. Cesspool, stoked to participate, but yeah, promotions have been disappearing. And there's a reason for that. We're going to get into that. All right. Facebook group is linked. But why are promotions disappearing? Now, y'all probably, if we're being 100% honest, y'all probably have seen promotions disappear since the beginning of the year, but there's a reason they've been getting more scarce, and it's called an IPO. I know a lot of people think that these Uber Eats, like, let's take Uber Eats Boost, for instance. People think that the customers in the Boost zone are paying extra money during the Boost. That's actually not true. And how do I know this? Because I'm Uber Eats customers, guys. I order Uber Eats like probably once every 2 weeks. And around my favorite Asian food restaurant, where I get the tofu fried rice, there'd be this huge boost zone around it. You can imagine as a driver, I would hit that area. But as a customer, a day I'm not going out working, the boost zone will be there during dinner time. I would still order. Guess what? I wasn't paying any more than I would have normally. So the customers aren't covering that boost. So how are you getting paid more money? It's because Uber was subsidizing the boosts in these quests. And now that they're a publicly traded company, when investors see things like that happen, they start to get skittish. They start to pull out. They start to run their mouths about this is a bad investment, which is bad for stock. And they're trying to minimize the money spent on promotions in general. That's why you're seeing them disappear or steadily decline. Now, when I heard that Uber was going public next year, which was at that time, it was last year, but when I heard that, I knew that it was going to affect Uber Eats drivers, and that's why I made the Uber Eats Advanced course. You'll notice towards the last half of the Advanced course, there's a reoccurring theme. I'm always saying, don't rely on boosts and quests. Learn the spots in your market that you can make money other ways. These guarantees, people tipping, just based on the dynamics of that area, it's just easy to make money. Like it's nothing but houses, and you can actually make like $15 by getting like 4 or 5 trips in an hour simply because the trips are short and it keeps you in that area, and then you just get another trip immediately. You can actually hit all that without even any tips or anything. And of course, some people are going to tip. That was the reoccurring theme in the advanced Uber Eats course because I saw this coming. They can't just keep subsidizing these promotions forever. The whole point was, as they're expanding their market share to customers, they had to give the drivers some incentive to keep up with that demand to keep them on the platform. And since that's been done, they're really pulling back on those promotions. Force 820 can't get on DD because of the schedule is always full, so multi-apping is rough. Um, hey, it is what it is. I've always, those of y'all been following me for a while, y'all know I don't preach multi-apping because it keeps you trapped in this app world. Well, I say multi-apping, I mean within the same category. So, I mean, you got delivery apps and you got people that do Grubhub and Favor, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all this stuff at once. I don't recommend that. I recommend you master one app, which for me is Uber Eats. That's the information I'm giving. And then whatever other way you want to make money, just put more energy into that to get results faster. Now, as far as other apps that make you money that's complementary to your main source, like wrapping your car or getting on the Sweatcoin app and you're making money as you're walking around, yeah, I'm all for that because it's in a different category. Umar, they were usually pretty prevalent before. Why is that? I think I answered that, but if I have an Umar, let me know. I can go into more detail. Cesspool, I'm hoping that since I would retroactively be in the top tier, I'll get more promos. You're talking about Uber Pro, Uber Eats Pro. I'll get into that in a sec. Um, Force 820, I only get random boosts in my area. Always only 1.1, 1.2 anyway. So you're like, it's starting to become not too worth it anyway. Okay. Umar answered it. I appreciate it. Force 820. Oh yeah, they did say there was going to be changes. Drivers wouldn't like. They did officially say that when they put the IPO out. No, it did actually slip my mind, guys, but I did forget to drop this link in the Facebook group, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Give me 1 sec. I'll still be multitasking. I heard the rewards program, if you do 1,000 orders, you can qualify for full tuition at ASU. Floor, Yeah, it's Uber Eats Pro. As soon as I drop this link in the Facebook group, well, we're gonna get into Uber Eats Pro. Okay. But while I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and just start talking. So, what do y'all think about Uber Eats Pro? I did a video on it. I was probably more critical than supportive because they took away Uber Eats Pro is basically a watered down version of what they were beta testing last year for Uber X drivers of Uber Pro. Uber Pro would be the same thing you see with the Uber Eats Pro. The only difference is the higher the tier you were, the more percentage of your commission you take home. So like if you were in the gold tier, I think it'd be like 3% more. You'd be making 3% more money per mile. If you're in the platinum tier, you would start making 4.5% or something. I remember it capped out at 6% if you were diamond. Notice that those are relatively low, but at least they were doing something. It gave you a little incentive to stay in that tier because technically you are making more money. And those little percentages, they add up over a month span, over a quarter span, over a year span. So it's actually kind of worth it. All right, about to drop that link. All right. Let's answer some questions. Lori, can't cancel orders, they dock you. Lori, do you mean before or after you pick up the... Oh, you're talking about for Uber Eats Pro? Well, as long as it doesn't affect your cancellation rate. I mean, if you cancel order and you've been there for 8 minutes and called the customer and all that, it shouldn't go towards your cancellation rate. Now, as far as acceptance rate, I'm actually not sure about that. That's going to be pretty interesting. That's probably be the biggest off-putting thing for me. Because y'all know the Uber Eats algorithm will send you something when Uber's getting their butt kicked. They'll send you something like 5 miles away, and if you don't accept it, your acceptance rate gets lower. So all of a sudden, you get kicked off of Uber Eats Pro because you're not about to drive 5 miles to go around the corner to a McDonald's. They're going to have to change that. I didn't see that in the link that I went over yesterday, though, so they might have changed it, but I'm not sure. Okay. Force 20, good explanation on why they're going away. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Minister Anthony, do you know if Uber Eats Pro is available in Canada? Um, well, Minister Anthony, right now it's just being beta tested in certain areas. So it's not really available in general, but they're beta testing it. So I doubt it's available in Canada. It's not even available in my market yet. I've just been hearing about it, so I decided to do some research on it. Okay. Now, swinging back to that tuition, as far as it looks like that is going to be part of the program, because that was part of the Uber Pro last year. You would have, as long as you stay on the top tier, you could get tuition at the Arizona University. That's cool and all. I gave my thoughts on that in the video I did yesterday. I'll just briefly restate it. Half the people on these apps are entrepreneur curious or entrepreneurs. And a lot of time, these companies, when they want to offer perks, they'll offer something knowing that maybe 2% of the whole population of will actually take advantage of it. But they could say, hey, we offer this. So if they're very pro education, what I feel they should do, it should not be limited to just school, because that's only going to be useful if you want to pursue a degree for the most part. I gave the example of I've spent money on real estate investing courses, on YouTube courses. By YouTube, I mean like how to be a successful YouTuber. These are courses they cost over around $1,000 or more. Okay, I think a better solution, if they really sincerely wanted to help everyone, would be just send the receipt of your education of your choice, whatever it is. It could be anything that's going to make you more money. How to invest in the stock market, real estate, acquiring a new skill, trade school, whatever. And they'll reimburse that to a certain amount every year. That amount could be 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, whatever. They can determine what it is, but something like that would really, really, really help drivers. I don't really see offering school tuition in that form at a particular university is something that's like just so revolutionary. It seems more like a cop out so they can feel they can say they're doing something, but let's be honest, how like 2% of drivers are gonna use that. I will say it is good that it extends to family members too, but I just feel they could do better if they're very pro education. It seems like a cop out to me right now. Umar, is there any possibility that you will be able to contact Uber Eats customers before you pick up the food? Seems wild that that isn't a thing right now, considering other competitors do it. Any insight? Yes, Umar. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I don't want it to. The reason I don't want it to, other apps do it. I don't like it because it complicates stuff. I'm there to pick up the food. Any kind of issue with the food or the order is between the customer, Uber, and the restaurant. That ain't got nothing to do with me. If you can contact the customer beforehand and you get involved in the picture, it gives the potential for things to get more complicated. I don't want that. Plus, with Uber Eats, you're just picking the food up anyway. So what real reason do you have? This is why like Uber support exists. You can just call support and they can contact the customer, or you can just, if we're keeping it 100, you can just cancel the order. Well, whatever the issue is, let Uber and the restaurant work it out, and we can just keep this simple and just deliver. So I'm very anti that happening. I don't think it will, but if it did, I'd actually be kind of pissed. Okay, Flora, yeah, for that $1,000, and yeah, maybe in the future they will have more options. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Flora. I mean, it's a good start, but me personally, I'm not gonna use it, and I'm very pro education. Like when I finish paying off this YouTube course, you best believe I'm gonna really be seeking other things. I'm getting ready to well, I'm in the process of writing my first book, and in a few, probably in like a month or two, I'm gonna be taking a course on a self-publishing school, and that's gonna be about 5 G's, $5,000. Okay, I'm very pro education, but it if they could offer it to a more variety in a more variety way, I think that'd be very on point. I'd be impressed. Like, picture that it doesn't have to be offered to every tier. It could just be the diamond tier. If I knew that I would get $1,500 reimbursed off of whatever course or education I'm going to be seeking at the end of the year, but I have to keep my diamond tier status, I'm motivated to get out there and drive more. I want to keep that diamond status. I want to be awesome. I'd be a hell of a lot more motivated. So that's something they could consider. Umar, great explanation. I see why you say that. Uber support has been pretty damn great whenever I have an issue. Yeah, and they're supposed to. That's what they're there for. They're not there just to collect a paycheck and just, I'm just sitting there, not doing nothing. No, you get your money's worth and you handle these problems. I mean, dealing with customers in that way, last I checked, is not in the Uber Eats terms of service. So that would mean we'd be doing extra work, and I'm not for that. You don't do if I'm gonna do extra work, give me 10% of the commission that the restaurant's taking, as far as I'm concerned. But swinging back to Uber Eats Pro, how did the rest of y'all feel about that tuition? Y'all think that's good enough? You think they should probably do a little better? Chris, get a part-time job at Starbucks, 20 hours a week, gets you qualified for a great healthcare and ASU degree as well. Chris brings up a good comparison. He's saying, "Well, look at what Starbucks is doing, and that's just a part-time job." Um, that's great. Like to me, I just feel like they need to offer something that they know will truly help people. Right now, the tuition thing just kind of feels like they set it up so they can claim that they're doing something. And they are doing something, but is it really going to help the majority of drivers? Or are people going to take advantage of it? Probably not. Okay. Forest 20. Are you still in network marketing business? Good question, Forest 20. Not this time around. I'm actually in the process of setting up my own business so I can sell my own products again. I'm not selling tangible products this time around. I'm going to be selling books. So I guess I'm jumping ahead of myself because I was gonna make a video on this, but I'm planning on writing a book series, and I'm planning on it being big. Okay, I'm almost finished writing my first book, and I know this is Ubereats Q A, so I'm not gonna get heavy into it. But that's really what I'm looking at selling in the pretty short term. So, did you answer your question? No, I'm not currently involved in network marketing because I wanted to start selling I want to start selling products, information products, not so much tangible products. And I wanted to keep 100% of the commission. Like, network marketing, for the most part, you're making less money than you would if you were just selling a product directly by yourself. But the company takes care of the distribution on it. That's the benefit of network marketing. But if you're selling something that's not tangible, a service or a book or something, well, then you get to keep all the money. But at the same time, you don't have to worry about distribution. Let's see. Zay to God, I always do Uber Eats when you live stream. Well, Zay, that tells me that you're picking up on strategy because I live stream on Sundays, and Sundays are usually one of the busiest days on Uber Eats. So you get that money while you're doing the Q&A. That's pretty smart. Force 820, I've already got a doctorate. Doesn't appeal to me. Are you talking about the tuition program? Okay. Umar, they can definitely do better. When Uber Eats Pro rolled out, I was diamond status immediately. Saw the ASU tuition deal, and I just rubbed my eyes, rubbed me the wrong way. Felt out of place. Like you said, variety is key. Like, I would trade that for just the percentages that they were doing on Uber Pro. If I was keeping 6% more of my overall commission by doing diamond status, that's something that would directly help me. Like, truth be told, all these benefits and stuff, I'm not an employee, okay? I don't really care about that stuff for the most part unless you're going to make it worth my while. Just incentivize me by giving me more money. That's probably the biggest way they can incentivize me. Aside from the educational reimbursement for the education that you're choosing, as long as you have the intent to make more money. If you're taking a dance class and you're not going to be on stage or anything like that, come on, they shouldn't reimburse that. But if your intent is to make more money and the situation is reasonable, I think what I suggested is a pretty good idea. Let's see. Raphael, this whole ASU partnership is probably my primary route towards a doctorate. If you want to take advantage of it, it's there. I mean, it definitely couldn't. If you find use for it, I say use it. And I'm not saying it should just disappear completely. I just feel like they could do better in terms of what they're offering. Zay, bingo. Umar, exactly. Appreciate it, fellas. But swinging back to the Uber Eats Pro, let me type in that link while I'm talking. They did mention they mentioned roadside assistance, but they has something about car maintenance. Scroll back down. Okay, it's not popping up. But how do y'all feel about that car maintenance that they're offering? Y'all feel that's a pretty good deal? I don't know much about who they partner with, but it sounds like it'd be pretty good. Why is that link not popping up though? I swear they just want to make this stuff hard. I wonder if they saw me dicing. They saw the video where I was slicing it up yesterday and decided to remove it. I laugh. Laura, yeah, I think you like a certain percentage because that's how Uber Pro was. Uber Pro, you keep a higher percentage of, well, not keep a higher percentage. Your percentage per mile will go up based on your tier, up to 6% more, which is pretty decent. I mean, it sucks they got rid of that, but if they are going to get rid of it, they need to have some more enticing things as far as offers for Uber Pro. Now, I'm just going to pull up the video I did yesterday and click on the link there because for some reason when I Google it, it's not popping up. Then we can go through this. Give me a sec, guys.
At Kin Custom, we keep it simple. We help you mass produce customized merch in a few simple clicks. You bring the ideas, we'll handle the manufacturing, fulfillment, and shipping to your customers. Industry-leading speed to market delivery.
So how do y'all
3-day
feel about
production
you're
and
only
10
gonna get
business
certain
day
things?
delivery means less waiting
It's on a
and
point
happy
system. How do y'all
customers.
feel about y'all only
Niche
get
all
the
of our
maximum
prints
amount
and
of
product
points if you work
selection.
dinner or
We
lunch?
remove
Like if
limitations
you're
with
working
all of
between
our
2 and
prints
4,
onto
you only
apparel
get like
and
1
goods.
point
No minimum
versus
order required.
lunch and dinner time you get 3. They're basically incentivizing you to drive during certain hours to do this. And that would be fine if we were getting paid that extra like
Monday.com
percentage.
is a platform to
But if
manage
there's no
any
money
team and any
involved, I'm
project.
actually not
Marketing
feeling that.
campaigns, classic project management, sales pipelines, creative productions, anything.
Umar, so what's
We'll start
up
with
with
the board.
getting tips an
Here you can
hour
track everything your
after
team
the
is working
order?
on.
Is there
Columns are
some benefit
completely
to that? I'm
customizable,
not
so
seeing-
you can
I'm
track
not
what's
favorable.
important to you. Everything
Umar,
is visual.
overall,
See who's
it's
in
been
charge of
working out
what
pretty
and
smooth.
easily prioritize.
Ever since they did it,
Upload files and
the
get quick
tips have
approvals and
increased
feedback.
for me. The reason I think they've increased is because people who wouldn't normally tip, because they forget, they actually tip. Like a lot of times, they'll tip the next time they place an order, which might be a week from now or whatever. And a lot of people do that, but what if they don't have the tip then? You're like, oh, shoot, I don't have the money now. Oh, well, I can't tip them. But if they can just arrange to have the tip sent an hour afterwards, they have the tip then, so we get it. So overall, that's been working out pretty smooth. What do you not like about it? I will say there's a flip side. Let's say if someone is waiting to tip you on payday, and they can now tip you now, they might have tipped more on payday than they'll tip in this moment. So that is a downside too. Let's see. Floor, that's true. All my tips get added an hour later or later in the day. Yeah. Overall, I think there are more pros than cons, but there are some cons. Force 820, it feels like they lowered off my drop off. Oh, they lowered my drop off and pickup fees because I feel the same way as anyone else. So he's saying, has anyone seen their pickup and drop off fees get lowered in their market? For me, not recently. I'm in the DFW, but the last time that happened, that's when they changed everything to this per time scale, which no one liked. Yeah, we talked about that already. I definitely was not in favor of it. Umar, just in cases where I want to cash out right after a couple orders. I guess it does lower the amount of people who would tip like right after. Because you got some people, they know they'll forget, so they'll just, as soon as they get the order, they put the order down and just go ahead and tip you. If they can arrange it so it's an hour afterwards, then they probably won't do that. I will say, I'll say this, Umar. Like you want to try and get in the habit of cashing out as little as possible, because that's not a good habit to develop. Like ultimately, if you can get in the habit of budgeting your money just based on them sending it via the payment, that's actually best for you. I'm not talking about the 50 cent they charge. Ultimately, that's not really a lot of money. It's just it'll make you a little more financially astute, and then you can use that in other areas if that makes any sense. Yeah, Flora Uber has been doing good lately. When you say they've been doing good, what do you mean? Like Ubereats has been good, or you talking about the stock price? Because if it's the stock price, I don't know about that. That stock price has been kind of capricious. Let's see. Force 820, I agree on the cash out, like you said. I mean, the cash out is very just, you can have instant cash like that. When you come from a job setting or just any other way, it's like, dang, I could just like that. And it's very similar to like when you get in sales for the first time and you make your commissions. And if the customer pays in cash, you get it right on the spot. But it kind of speeds up everything. So you kind of feel obliged to spend the money faster, and then you go through money a lot faster. Versus if it was just going to come that much later, you'd be a little more prone to stick to the plan, and it just makes things a little less chaotic. Umar, really? So waiting for payday instead of daily cash outs is better for the long run? Well, I talk about this in not this specific scenario, as far as Uber goes, but just the concept in the book that I'm writing. But you got to ask yourself, why do you want to cash out? It's because you want to spend money more or spend money faster. And the more you get in spending mode, the less you're actually focused on what the money can do for you. So you got, and now I'm gonna start dropping some nuggets. But there's 4 areas of money. There's expenses, investments, savings, and spending money on yourself. And usually when you cash out, you're going to spend it on one of those things automatically, but you want to spend on all of those things over a period of time to make sure you keep moving forward financially. Like when you cash out, you're kind of inhibiting that process. Floor, yeah, Uber Eats, as in it's been busy, or get the Uber card, no fees. Floor's talking about the Uber debit card. Do you have that debit card? And if so, has it been working out pretty smooth? Because I've heard things about it. I know part of the Uber Eats Pro is the cashback. So, what are the percentages? Why am I thinking about it? It's in front of me. Percentages for the Uber Cash Card. The highest one, the Diamond tier, is 5% back. Platinum 4%, Gold 3%, and everyone will get 1.5% if you have the card. And when you cash out, there are no fees. Let's see. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's go on to this discounted car maintenance. Has anyone heard of Car Advertise before? Because apparently they've partnered with them for car maintenance. If you have Uber Eats Pro, if what tier do you get car maintenance? Hold on, let me check. Uh, okay, everyone gets 25% off car maintenance, so that'll just be a deal. That's actually a pretty good perk. Okay, Floor, Uber debit treats me better than most banks. It's easy and simple. Okay, that's probably something to look into. I'll admit I haven't actually been paying attention to it that much. I used to use that the Uber fuel card they had, which was pretty good. Then they discontinued it and replaced it with this card. Guess that left a bad taste in my mouth because I actually use that fuel card to just keep track of all my gas expenses. I'm trying to remember there was a percentage that you would just get off of all gas. It was pretty decent, but they replaced that with this, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, man, forget that. I would have just rather had the Uber fuel card. Let's see. All right, everyone. We'll transition to a general Uber Eats Q&A. If y'all have any questions about Uber Eats Pro or just anything Uber Eats, like feel free to ask them. We're at a little past the 30-minute mark, so I'll hang around for 15 more minutes. Then I'll actually be heading out to hit it myself because dinner hour actually is approaching in my market. Let's see. If no one has any other questions, then I'll actually go ahead and call out the Q&A now. I'll wait about another minute or two. But while I'm waiting, have y'all been adapting pretty well to there not being any promotions? Because I know a lot of people have been talking about there haven't been any promotions, and that's how they've been making the bulk of their money. Ray, quick fill-in. I can quickly summarize. So, Ray, we talked about promotions disappearing on Uber Eats, why it disappeared. I'm not gonna re-say it. You can watch the playback. And basically, how you get around it is you need to learn the areas of your market you can make the most money in. So, the customers are tipping in that area, or you just make more money because that area is a bunch of houses. Whatever it is, just make note of those areas and kind of stick to those. Raphael, a little off topic, but I went with my girl to co-sign for a new car yesterday and told them my income was income from the 9 to 5 and Uber. and they refused to take my Uber monthly income into consideration because their dealership didn't want to sell a car to an Uber driver. Um, you could go to a different dealership, but I can see where they're coming from. I don't know if they can actually do that though. Like if you get a little aggressive with them, you could probably make them do it, but if they're not willing to do it, I'm not in the field of making people do stuff because they might do something shady. I would just go somewhere else to see if you can get a deal. Uh, if it happens too often, you might want to just leave out the Uber income in general. I know it will boost your monthly income, but if it seems to be more of a liability than an asset, then don't mention it. Because you gotta look at it from the financing, uh, from the dealership's end too. Like whoever's financing this car, they see like, oh, this person is driving for Uber. Oh, that means the car is gonna get broke down in value, over a period of time and all this, etc. There's all these notions that go through their head, and they kind of fear that you might not be able to pay it back, or if you decide to trade in, like the car will be so depreciated. That's what they're looking at. Hmm. Zeta God, what skills you think you acquired from Uber Eats that you can use from other careers? Being a better driver. you, I can't speak for all markets. I'll just say that being out on the streets more, you learn how to be a better driver because people can't drive, and you already got to be a good driver to avoid wrecks. But you just learn how to be a very good driver, and you learn how to do operate GPS a lot better, and you also learn how to think on your feet in the car a lot better. I remember it was just a few days ago. I was on my way to drop off a delivery. Then a train started coming by, and that train blocks off the other half where the customer's on the other half. So I instantly turned on that street, then turned left into the street that I was going down, and that was a bridge underneath the train. Then turned left, and I was on the other side. I don't think I would have did that if I didn't have that Uber Eats experience. I just would have sat there and been pissed off. So just the ability to quickly analyze the situation when on the road. Uh, I didn't get this because I was already self-employed, but this is a skill set you can pick up from doing Uber Eats. You'll get used to emotionally being able to get out there and generate money. Okay, like a lot of times with jobs, we're used to just showing up. Then, all right, well, the jobs take care of me. If there's anything I need to do, they'll let me know. With Uber Eats, you get used to like, look, you don't make money unless you get your butt out there. You can take that mindset, and then you start to emotionally get set on that, so it's not intimidating. Like, oh man, if I don't get out there, I'm not gonna make any money. You learn to be self motivated, so you can take that type of mindset and go to network marketing, or go to sales, or go to really anything in entrepreneurship, and you'll be not fully ready to take it on, but it like 60 or 70% because that mindset is really the first stigma that holds so many people back, and Uber Eats will give you the chance to conquer it. So I say that's the most valuable skill set you can learn that you can use in other careers. That wasn't true for me because I was already in sales before I got involved with Uber. But if that's not the case for you, that is a skill set you can definitely pick up. And on the same token, it'll also allow you to learn how to manage money on that basis that I just mentioned. Now you got to put the work in, but if you do learn it, that'll help you out. Raphael, 5, and Uber, and there. Oh wait, I already read that. Force A20. I had the same problem with my dealership for financing. Oh, guys, if you're looking at financing the car, the key is to find the right salesman who wants to make a commission. Okay, so I would actually focus on that because the salesman will do things behind the scene to make it happen. And if you can find the right person, you might have to put in work to do this, but find the right person who is willing to put in some work because they want to make the commission. I just watched a video by the rideshare guy. He financed the car. He got a car financed, and he explained why he was getting turned down. Then he changed what was getting him turned down, and he found the right salesman. In fact, let me look that video up and link it in the chat for y'all. It's a pretty good video, especially if you're looking to finance a car. Okay, looking the video up. Just give me a sec. How long ago did he do it? Okay, that's called the easiest way to buy a new car for rideshare driving, and this is gonna run parallel with delivery too, even though rideshare drivers make more. Car for rideshare. There we go. I just put it in the chat. Take a look at that when y'all get a chance. It'll give you a lot of insight if you're looking to finance a car and you're a delivery or a delivery or a rideshare driver. Okay, Floor, what about people who do Uber Eats full time? How can they finance the car then? Just curious because I know people who do it full time. Yeah, Floor, definitely check out that video that I linked in the chat because the guy that does his name is Jay Crater for the rideshare guy. He drives full time. So when he wanted to finance the car, like he didn't have any. He had other streams of income, but I think driving was his major source. So he had to disclose that. Let's see. Okay, this happened to me too. A lot of questions are stemming, based on that financing. So y'all definitely check that video out. Let's see. Zay the God, what's the most you made in a week for Uber Eats? But Zay, you gotta remember that for the past I would say 8 or 9 months, I've been a part-time driver, maybe 25 or 30 hours a week, because I have to be putting in work at other things I do to make money. So yeah, I can just look it up on my phone. Hold on. Might take a sec to pull up. While I'm doing that, Force 20, the dealership just put all my income together under my network marketing company income. It was weird. Force A20. That's a great example of did it work out for you? Because that could be a great example of that's whoever did that salesman probably just wanted to make the commission. See, this is what I mean by they can do things behind the scenes to make sure it goes through. You just got to find someone who wants that commission. Like I'm curious, Force 20. Tell me if that went through or not. Okay. Force A20, how are you handling it being super slow? Because I'm going to areas where it should be busy, but that are reasonable to where I'm at. So basically, your normal hotspots just aren't as busy as they've been. How I handle that? Watch the last part of the Uber Eats Advanced course. I'll talk about evaluating cities. For me, I'll go to the city that has the most activity. That means I might have to compromise on dealing with stuff I normally wouldn't have to deal with. Like the city has apartment buildings and all that kind of stuff I don't like. But I haven't had to do that yet. Because I say test your market. Because sometimes I might make a video on this, but during the slow periods, there's always going to be an hour of your shift that's just going to be slow. And it's always going to be consistently slow. Like I know in my city, it is always like 7 o'clock is the dead hour. It's like, where is everyone at 7 o'clock? I know it's going to be dead at 7 o'clock for whatever reason. That it picks up at 8 o'clock and you're pretty much consistently busy till 10. And before 7 o'clock, like between 5 and 7, it's pretty decent. So since I know 7 o'clock is going to be just that slow drag hour, that's the time I'll go have dinner. Okay. So I'll go have dinner then hop back on at 8 o'clock, and activity is just like normal. And that's just for my city. For another city that I've gone to before, the slow time is 8 o'clock. I don't know why, but every city has its little slow areas. So you gotta areas of time. So you gotta pay attention to that. Now, to answer your question from before, it's too far back to go where I've had the most, but I'll tell you where I'm at like for this week. I've only like driven like about 22 hours. And I'm at around $320. Yeah. So this is part of the reason I say 11 to $18 an hour, and I'll say like 500, 600, 1,000 or something like that, because you got people who do this part-time and full-time. And when you focus on those crazy, like make $1,000 a week with Uber Eats, well, we don't know people's market condition. And also, most of the time, them cats be putting in like 60 hours. Like, I would rather y'all just hit the peak times like lunchtime and dinner time and make this amount in 40 hours, still standing at 11 to $18 an hour, versus like working like 60 hours, working during the slow times as well as the popping times. Then you get burned out and you don't have the time and energy to do anything else. Force 820, yes, you're able to get me finance. He was able to give me finance because of my network marketing business going with the bank that they wouldn't verify income. That is a great example. I bet that salesman wanted to make that commission. Okay. And when you find a salesman that wants to do that, they will make things happen on the back end. That's why y'all should really check out that video done by Jay Crater, because he goes into the details on how to do that. And a lot of times these dealerships, like you go on their website, these salespeople, they usually have their contact information. You can just call each one of them up, explain the situation, and ask them if they can help. And a lot of them, they go into it with the expectation that, oh, okay, let me see what I can do for you. I want to make the sale. Versus you go up there and then when you lay it on them, you don't let them know immediately because they don't ask you. And then they get into this mode of selling you on the car and all this, and they sit down with the paperwork and like, all right, so what are your sources of income? And then you mention they like, oh man, look, man, they aren't mentally prepared for it, and they probably weren't the person to make the deal anyway. So it goes a long way to actually just reach out and find that right salesperson. Umar, love the Q&A. Always a pleasure to hear you break stuff down, man. Much appreciated, Umar. That's what I'm here for. But I guess I did go a little over. But I know it's slow, guys. But that is part of the summer slowdown. So pretty soon I'll be doing a video on one of the things I mentioned doing the 5 ways to make money outside of just driving for Uber Eats. And that video should help y'all make money in other ways. It's kind of passive to what you're doing to kind of supplement the summer slowdown. But for the moment, y'all want to check out the Uber Eats Advanced course, specifically the second half, and really find the areas in your market that have activity. You might need to compromise on things you normally wouldn't compromise on. Like, I would avoid areas of the city that have apartment buildings and all that stuff. But if it's slow, you got to do what you got to do. Make sure you dress nice for tips. The more appealing you look, the more likely you are to get a tip. So if you are getting less deliveries at the very minimum, at least more people are tipping. These are things that you can do to kind of offset the slowness. But shoot, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits here so I can have my dinner, then head out and get out there on the field with y'all. Y'all got any questions? Feel free to leave them in the comments below this Q&A. And don't forget, check out the App Lifestyle Store. And I'll be making a video on how these shirts can actually make you more money, which will also help with supplementing the summer slowdown. But I'll catch y'all in the next Q&A, the next video. Be safe out there. Peace out.